Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Newberry Township Board of Supervisors meeting. It's Thursday, the 28th at 6:01 p.m. Can we all rise and do the national anthem? Or, yeah, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real quickly, before we get into public comment, we just had an executive session going over some issues with cybersecurity and our IT, with our IT people. With that, we'll start with public comment. Christy, do you have anything?
It's there with you on the iPad. The second one to your right, but they're two printed out.
Second, please. There you go.
All right. We have one here from, comment from, I guess it's Gary Castle from 70 Ridge Road and Stephanie Hawkins from 80 Ridge Road, Dear Madams and Sirs. During the past 2 to 3 years, Mr. Harkins at 2130 Potts Hill Road in Edders has been operating his business or a portion thereof, Harcon General Services, at this address, zoned rural resource. Operating such a business is not used by right. We have witnessed the storage of large construction vehicles, trucks, loading construction vehicles, arrival, departure of construction vehicles throughout the day, and arrival and departure of employees to begin work and departing at the end of the workday. These activities were reported to the Newberry Township zoning officer when initially observed. Mr. Harkins also built a house on his property during this time, but at no time was that construction included in this complaint. The foliage provides welcome relief. Although the condition of Mr. Harkins' property around his pole barn is not up to standard of the rural resource property, we have seen improvement and much reduced activity pertaining to the operation of his business. Still, the employees assemble and begin their work each day, and there are still a large few construction vehicles being stored on the property. We have observed improvement during 2020 after evidence of business activity was submitted to the zoning officer and the Board of Supervisors. However, we received no feedback from the township until Gary recently met with Mr. Wintermeyer and had a brief conversation with Mr. Kirkpatrick. Our major area of concern that remains in that documentation. We have not received acknowledgement of the submission of our complaint. We have no documentation regarding township action, and we have no documentation indicating what Mr. Harkins will do to remedy the situation. We have no input into the process. It is our position and request that we receive written documentation that we can maintain on file that can be referenced to should a similar search situation develop in the future. Mr. Castle and Ms. Hawkins, it's here on record now. I don't know that I've never given a receipt to anybody over a complaint, and I don't think that's something we're going to start. And that's my opinion. I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Yeah, it was discussed with Rob Harkins about what he was doing, and he agreed to disconnect his beepers when he's working on his house if we're doing his yard work with the planting grass and all that stuff with his equipment. He has did that. Gary told me it's been much better. And Mr. Harkin has taken most of his big equipment over to his other property on Old Jerk Road. So it has been improved since we had talked to him. And I think Gary was happy with the progress we made with him.
Okay, well, this was dated on the 25th, so. I also have one from Tom Brown, 1880 Valley Green Road.
Dave, is Tony on the phone?
Tony, are you there?
I am, yes, and I'd like you to mention that, please. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tony is not available to be here at the meeting this evening, so he's on the phone with us here. I failed to mention that. I meant to mention that first off.
Thank you.
And Mr. Cook is sick this evening. He won't be here. My name is Tom Brown at 1880 Valley Green Road. After talking to Christy, she sent a gentleman to my house. I showed him pics and tried to explain to him about my problem. I have tried for years to get a response from the township, but always got swept aside. I have tried to just have a talk with the chief of police, but was told by an officer that I can't do that. Of course, his question is why. Not only do I have to deal with the water running on my property, but he also comes out at night to flush his pool water over here and shoots fireworks above my house. Over the years, I have dug a trench a good 70 yards long and then a small rock wall to save my property. But that didn't work either, because it clogs up from the leaves and branches that he throws in a ditch. When I built my house, the township made me put a swale around my house. They got permission to move in, and then after the township was done, he brought in 200 ton of dirt and raised his land, and I've been dealing with it ever since. The gentleman that came and looked at it took a lot of pictures, but I could not figure how to attach them here. I would like this resolved and a swale put around his property like I had to do. It doesn't help that his shed is less than 5 feet from my property, which is where the pool pump is. Whatever happened to the boundary setback? Anyway, thank you for your time. I would like to just have a talk with the chief for his advice, and apparently I'm not allowed, and would like an engineer or a conservationist to look at this mess. Tom. It would be nice to have the township manager and the chief call me, come over and talk. I know you're busy, especially now how this this is the furthest I've gotten in the township in years. No disrespect intended. Thank you again. I'll pass his information to you, and you can call him and I guess discuss the fireworks complaint or whatever his complaint is with you.
When I was there, I just don't see anything what the township is able to do for him to correct anything.
This is more of a civil action.
I think the guy who built the house beside him was over 15 years ago.
Yes. So, but we'll see what we can do, but I'm not sure there's a lot we can do with this. This is more of a civil problem, like the house has been there for a long time, so. But we'll be in touch. That's all I have for public comment at this time. Like a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, reports. Scott, from the Highway Department.
Good evening, everybody. In the last month, we have got the shoulders cut on Church Road, Valley Green Road, Midway Road, and we have River Road and Stevens Road left to do, which we're gonna start here in the next day or two. Then we need to finish the base repair we started on Midway and Church, and Stevens has a little bit, but not very much. Midway, though, is gonna take the most. Also, we have completed the first round of roadside mowing and are a few days into the second cut, so we're continuing to do that. We're also boom mowing roads. We sprayed the ball fields and the playgrounds again for weeds, and by the beginning of next week, we'll drag the ball fields again once the grass dies off. So with that, the old trail work is gonna start Thursday and Friday for the cold in place recycling. They'll do one lane one day, the other lane the next day, and then they'll be out of there, and it's gotta sit for 2 weeks to cure, and then Kinsley will be moved in then to do the overlay in the fabric. We're planning on closing that section of the old trail from Fisher's Auto Parts to Sheep Ridge just during the day and open it back up at night. And they're building a detour around.
We should probably put something on the website about that.
Yeah, so that would be good. We have our signs, we have our sign out there, and Kinsley brought one up today for the other end.
Could you put that on the website? Thanks.
And then also, EK Services got a hold of me, it's been 3 weeks ago now. They were dealt with the water company on Sam Sneed Circle, and the water company is gonna rebuild half of that street, base and top. So I got with them to get a price on overlaying the other half, which would entail them hauling the material and laying it, and then we buy the material ourselves. They'll just bill it to us. And then their quote to haul and place material was 10.5 basically. And then it's gonna take about 320 ton of material, so, and that'll be about 19,000. So for less than, about 30,000, we'll have a brand new road. And that's a pretty long section. And it was bad before, so it needed redone. So I think we should take advantage of it.
That's not bad.
Andy, can we do that? Can we contact with them to do that project, or?
Yes.
How long's the road, Scott?
It's 22,000 square feet would be the part. 22.5, I think, is our part.
Yeah.
Water company's doing the rest, the other half. So it's not quite a mile along that loop. So I
And
don't know
this
exactly.
is Tony, are we going over the threshold, that we have to put it for bid or no?
No, we're 10.4 is what we're paying the contractor, so that's
Okay,
under.
all right, great.
You wanna
I
put
heard
that in?
30K, I thought.
So we can get that.
Right, but we already have bids for the material for us to buy, and that's the way we're doing, is we're buying the material,
Got it, thank you.
okay?
So-
Do we,
We should check on that. Send them here, Tony.
do we have to, get a motion on that?
Yes, if you're gonna enter into an agreement with them to get it done, there should be, it's an expenditure of money, so you should have a motion and approval from the board.
Looking for a motion, because I think it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gonna turn that road into a new road pretty cheap, so.
Right. It's the same kind of thing we did with, I always call it Evergreen, but it's not Juniper Drive.
Okay.
That was another half and half deal. And that come out really nice.
And all the utilities are due in there now, so.
Yeah.
So we should get some mileage out of that road.
Oh, and also, it's not on my report, but Eagle Lane, they paved Eagle Lane yesterday.
Okay.
So that's done now.
So I'm looking for,
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, spend that money to go in with the water company to repave that road.
okay, Tony?
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay,
Opposed?
that's all I got.
So we have an update on Paddletown Road that we had contacted
Oh,
Tiffany.
you were away, yeah.
We had contacted Tiffany. I had taken some pictures of the water running down through the mud.
Right.
We can't do anything yet till they give us permission to go ahead and do what we have to do. So I don't know if somebody can stop down and talk to a couple of people on the road and tell them what's going on. Nobody has yet.
Okay.
I forget Red's last name, but he's kind of concerned that nobody's taking care of it, but we're on top of it, but we're just waiting for York
I'll
County.
stop and talk to him.
We're just waiting for York County to give us the go-ahead to do what we have to do, so. If you can, stop down and talk to Red,
Yeah.
tell him what's going on.
Yep, can do.
All right, thanks, Scott.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks. Chief?
Evening supervisors, residents. All right, for the month of June, our department handled 802 calls. Listing those calls by criteria, we had 2 burglaries, 12 thefts, 3 motor vehicle thefts, 4 drug offenses, 8 DUIs, 2 simple assaults, 3 sexual assaults, 8 domestic-related harassments, 4 other harassments, and 29 all other offenses. Additionally, the officers responded and investigated 727 other calls for service, including 24 domestic-related incidents and 23 traffic accidents. They issued 135 traffic citations, 118 traffic warnings, 6 non-traffic citations, and made 23 misdemeanor and/or felony criminal arrests. Other than that, it's in my report. At 5:30, I sent all of the board of supervisors. We were reaccredited from the state, and I just received the report today, so I copied that into your email and sent that to you, just for your reading if you'd like to. The vehicle, last month you approved for us to sell that vehicle. It's on municipal bid right now. It's supposed to end in 2 days. Currently it's at $7,100, which I don't believe is meeting the reserve that I placed on it. Other than that, I don't really have anything. Have anything for me?
The only thing I have is I was here for the accreditation, and the people that did the accreditation said that our police department has done, meets or exceeds all their expectations. So good job.
You worked hard on that, so thank you.
Thank you.
Fire EMS. Do we have anything from Jeff other than what's in the report? Andy?
I don't believe I have anything to add from my report. I have a few items that are later on the agenda, and I do request a brief executive session with the board to discuss a possible litigation matter.
Okay. Bill?
I don't have anything to add either. I just have to have the one plan tonight under subdivision and land development.
Okay. Mr. Zider?
I don't have anything to add in my report.
Okay.
Questions?
Anything for Brent?
Yeah.
Nope.
Tony, you have anything for Brent?
I do not. Thank you.
Nothing on the man treasurer's report? Got anything to add to that, Jane? Okay. Any questions for the treasurer? Okay, under the supervisor's report, the Facebook page is back up and running. I guess Christie worked on that and got that straightened out. So you can now watch the meetings on Facebook also along with the website. And we'll be updating the Facebook page on a regular basis. All plans during the zoning and planning meetings and the Board of Supervisors meetings will now be streamed on the TV so that we can zoom in with the camera so that when we're talking about plans, the people in the audience and watching can see what we're looking at and talking about. That's all I have for the moment. I think, do you have anything else?
I don't.
I have nothing.
Let me look in here and see if I have anything in here. Nope, that's all we have. Okay, moving on. We'll move on to old business. Anything under old business? We're still looking at the noise ordinance. However, we still would like to do the noise ordinance once we're allowed to have public meetings, open public meetings again. Or we may have to find another location to have, because I'd like public input in that. I believe most of us want that, so. New business? under A, we have approve the typo correction on a wage resolution from the January reorganization meeting in reference to Trevor Stuck's anniversary date. It should be listed as 7/16 and should be corrected to 7/6. Motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve that typo.
Yeah, the chief, he verified it, so we're good.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thanks, Diane. I keep forgetting you're muted out there, so I'll catch you on here, hopefully before the meeting's over.
We're doing fine.
Looking for a motion to approve hiring of a consultant manager. It would be Aero Engineering. Do we want to discuss this now, or we want to come back and discuss this at another time when Brant's here, or what do we want to do here?
I can make a motion to do it. I mean, I'm okay with it.
What is the price on that?
It'd be $1,000 a week, and as we use them.
If we use it for the whole week. That's gonna vary.
So is it 1,000 for the whole week?
It could be up to $1,000 per week, yeah.
Up to.
Yeah, it could
Okay.
be up to $1,000 a week.
And, but we're not gonna use them every week.
No.
No.
Then we'll have to pay for insurance for
And I
it.
think,
and
I
all
saw you, I mean, there's this plan put together, right, for what he's gonna do?
Yeah, I emailed stuff out, and I apologize, it got emailed out late. Basically, so the public's aware, we're looking at the possibility of a consultant manager to come in, help us make sure that all our paperwork's filed properly with all agencies that we need to file with, help us look into the idea of getting some grants, help us put together our budget for next year, and also maybe to help us hire a township manager.
Yeah, I would just like to make comments for public notice. I mean, this is temporary and interim kind of thing, so as you just mentioned, make it clear that our intent is to eventually hire a manager full time.
Yes, we are, yeah. This is a temporary deal. We're signing a deal to go to the end of the year so that we can get through our budget process and stuff like that. And hopefully by the end of the year, we have everything kind of in place to hire a new manager or have a new manager come on board in the beginning of next year.
I can agree with that.
So
Mr.
look,
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with the consulting interim manager until the end of the year.
I'll second that.
okay, any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we're good. Bill, can you help us with this next thing on the list here, the conditional use hearing?
Yeah, before our regular scheduled meeting next month, scheduled for 5:30, we'll be holding conditional use hearing for the veterinary's office with regards to public sewer. People didn't have access to public sewer, but it was in a zone that required it, or you needed a conditional use.
So if,
We're just scheduling the meeting tonight
okay,
for next month.
and we have to advertise that, right, Andy?
Yes.
Okay.
They'll have to be advertised, and there will be, I've already talked to Jeff about making sure there's a stenographer here.
Okay.
Here at 5:30.
So if, for those who may not be able to hear Bill, this is a conditional use hearing for a property on the old trail. They want to move a veterinary's office into it, and they can't hook up to the sewer, so we have to give them a conditional use or see what they're going to do about the sewer that's now available on site. Andy, can you help us with this next one?
Does the board want to make a motion to authorize that to be advertised for the hearing? Is that that would be, that's
Okay.
one of the reasons we put it on the agenda, is to get a motion from the board to approve it.
Okay, looking for a motion?
I'll make that motion, that we schedule or advertise the conditional use hearing for, is that August 25th?
Yes.
At 5:30?
Yep.
I'll second it.
Any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, the next one, can you help us out with that one, Andy?
There was a, 160 Cragmore Road is a lot that pulled a building permit recently to construct a residential dwelling on the house. That lot was approved back in the early 2000s, prior to the current zoning ordinance. It's accessed only by a private lane. There's not frontage directly on any public streets. However, there was a conditional use granted to that property, or to create that lot and allow it to use a joint use private lane. The neighboring property owner, once construction started on the lot, the neighboring property owner contacted Jeff, as well as their counsel contacted me. They filed a zoning appeal to challenge the issuance of the building permit for that lot. The effect of filing that zoning appeal is that it stays any or stops any further activity in constructing the house. So we were not really left with any alternative but to send a cease and desist letter to the property owner that was constructing the house, notifying them that they had to stop construction until the zoning appeal was resolved. The zoning hearing is going to be August 24th. What I'm coming to the board tonight to find out is whether you want us to appear at that hearing to defend the township's decision to issue the building permit in this case. We can talk about this more in executive session if you want to, if you want any more details. Since it is a pending hearing that's coming up, I would recommend that to the extent we get into details about it, that we do that in executive session.
Okay.
My opinion is I'd like to see you represent the township to defend our decision.
Okay.
I agree.
Do we need an emotion on that or just a consensus?
No, we should, because we'll have to enter our status as an intervener in the hearing. We should have a motion authorizing us to go and appear at the hearing.
You want to change what, you want to make that a motion, Maxine?
Yeah, I'll make that a motion, what I previously said. Have MP.
Go ahead, Tony.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more discussion on that? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Anything else?
Not on that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around what we're trying to do here, that's all.
Where?
This is the proposed lot. How big is that lot?
I'm not sure
Why,
what the.
why do we stop the building of the house?
Because,
We're gonna have to talk about that back here.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about that in executive session. I can go over with you why we had to do that and what the property owner's recourse is.
Okay. I would like to, next thing on the agenda is discuss joining the Capital Area Council of Governments. I personally think that we should look and join the Capital Region Council of Governments. There's a lot of joint bidding that goes through there. There's a lot of MS4 stuff that's done through there. They also will help with looking for a manager.
What's the cost?
It's $1,500 a year. And with their joint bidding, some of the joint bids I've looked at, we should get our $1,500 back pretty quick.
Even the MS4 stuff, they do some of the advertising for the public participation and things like that that you need to do. They do it as a joint ad in the paper and stuff like that for public outreach.
Right, okay, yeah, public outreach, right.
I think that would be a wise investment, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
They also have the auction every year where they sell surplus, everybody brings their equipment, their surplus equipment to sale. And I think you just pay a fee as to what's sold. I just think it's a great
Right.
resource for us to look into and to join.
Tony, do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
So I'm looking for a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion that we join the, refresh me.
Capital Region Council of Governments.
Council of Governments. I didn't have that written down.
I'm looking for a second.
I'll second it.
All right. Any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you jumped over E.
Oh, yes, I did, didn't I? We can do that now.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. E is ratifying hiring an office assistant. We had quite a few people apply for the job. Jane and our staff did some interviews, narrowed it down. We've narrowed it down to one person. We've made an offer to that person, and that person's interested in the job. So I'm looking for a motion to hire this individual.
Are we gonna do a background check?
I think it was done with what the police department can do.
So you did a background check on the,
I can't do one like you think I can do.
how about the $10 PSP background check?
That's not what I can do.
Right. Is it more intense than the one you do? The $10 one?
The $20 one.
I've never seen the $10 or $20 one. Because if it's a police officer or an office staff, I can actually do a background check like we would with for another entity. I cannot legally run J-Net or
Right.
history.
Now, if we would decide to fingerprint our employees, who's your officer? Your IP officer? Do you have one?
Our IT officer.
No, it's IP, I believe. I'll get more info on it.
Our JTAC officer?
Yeah, that's it.
There's two of them, myself and Sergeant Parent.
So how much work would that create for you to fingerprint our new employees?
Phew, I don't think it's gonna
We
go
can
well.
fingerprint the employees, it's just a matter of what you wanna do with the fingerprints.
Well, would you store them?
We could store, I store fingerprints on all my officers, but I have to send theirs into state police to get clearance,
Mhm.
because they're dealing with CREA information and criminal history information, in order for them to even be able to run that.
Mhm. Well, maybe we can discuss that, because I think it's a smart thing to do.
My secretary's fingerprint people off the street all the time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
yeah, can you state the name of the new employee for the public? Or, you maybe we, shouldn't do that.
The employee that you want to hire, he's talking about.
Yeah, but she hasn't given her notice to her employer.
That's correct.
Probably should not do that.
Yeah, yeah, because she has not given her, until we formally adopt hiring her, and I understand her position, so.
Okay. Shouldn't we state the rate of pay?
I think we talked at $18 an hour.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion if we move forward with hiring the office assistant. And I'd like to thank Gene Diener for doing an outstanding job in the process. That's not part of the motion.
I'll second it.
Second. Any more discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I would like to further discuss that, though, fingerprinting our employees.
Okay. Okay, under G, it's authorized MPL to prepare and advertise an ordinance to adopt the change to the pension plan participation age from 21 to 18 years old.
So I did since the last meeting, I checked with RJ Hall regarding whether or not we needed, typically you need an actuarial study to amend anything with the pension. They confirmed that we wouldn't need one to do this change because it's not going to, there's no possibility of a negative impact on the pension because of the change in age and the employee's age, it would be coming on to the pension plan. I did also check with Corey just to make sure there's not any problem under the collective bargaining agreement or anything that would trigger any kind of bargaining with the union for this. And he actually recommended that we make the change that it would be more consistent with the collective bargaining agreement as it's written. So I'm just asking for authorization, make sure the board wants to move forward with it. And asking for authorization, we do have to prepare an amendment or an ordinance for the amendment to the plan. We have the amendment, the ordinance will be a simple ordinance to prepare, we just have to advertise it for next month.
I'll make a motion that we advertise that for next meeting.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, carries.
The next thing on the agenda regarding Goodman, we were forwarded.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
I'm sorry.
No problem.
We were forwarded a plan for streetlights to be installed on Goodman Drive. Just like the fire hydrants, Goodman has agreed to be responsible for the costs of those. The streetlights, once they're installed, there'll be an annual electric charge or a recurring electric bill for those lights. My suggestion is that we have Goodman, or we prepare an amendment to the existing development agreement to address the fire hydrants and the streetlights. We do have a traffic improvements agreement that says Goodman is responsible for maintenance costs on Goodman Drive. It doesn't specifically deal with or mention the hydrants or the streetlights, so I think it would be just for clarity in the future and ease of collection if the property changes hands or anything like that. I would suggest that we amend the development agreement to provide for that. And there, at this point, I think that's it. There may be additional things as we go through that process that Goodman may request with respect to it. And if we have an amendment in process, we'll try to incorporate any of that in, but that would all come back to the board for a decision and deliberation. So this is more just informational so that you know that request is there. I'll probably ask Goodman's attorney to do the initial draft of it, so it's their cost.
You looking for a motion to do that?
Yeah, if I could get a motion from the board, then we just have something in the record authorizing us to proceed with it, and we'll bring it back for approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion on that?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that takes care of new business for the evening. Subdivision and land development. You're up.
Good evening, my name is Mark Bard from All Land LLC. I'm here to represent the Nace subdivision plan. We have an existing house house on a large piece of property, and we're subdividing into 2 lots with a proposed dwelling on the 1 lot to the left there. And I believe it's public sewer, public sewer, public water. And the plan does conform to all the regulations. And it's up to date with all the comments at this point. All the revisions have been made to the plan. And I believe Bill has a list of comments here about some administrative issues.
You know, we're really down to administrative issues. He does have 2 waivers that to act on. The planning commission did recommend granting both of those waivers.
Yes.
And I have no issue with either of the waivers, so voted on both, and I think no exception. And then basically tonight, if you did recommend approval, it would be conditioned upon addressing all the remaining comments in that July report. You have to have it. You'd have to act on the waivers first. And then
Okay. Do we want to do these waivers together, or? The waivers are the woodland evaluation waiver. This is a single family home. It's not affecting any trees that I know of or anything like that, so, and it's pretty much a vacant lot now.
Yeah, it is. I've never seen it.
Yeah. So we need a motion to grant that waiver.
I'll make a motion that we grant waiver 402.01.9.j.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second it.
All in favor of granting that waiver?
Aye.
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 I'll make a motion that we grant waiver 403.01.a.
It's a site context map.
What's it for?
Second that.
the site context map would basically show the area around the property to give you some indication of the relation of the property to the surrounding area.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
In this case, it's, you know, 1 lot subdivision, so I think there's enough detail on the plan that I really don't have an issue with the waiver.
Yeah. We had a second.
Second it?
Tony did.
Okay. Any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we need a motion to allow them to do the subdivision.
Just one, I have a question.
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah.
So, Bill, I don't see this one on your engineer report, or is it the one that you're saying on your report about Robert A. Donick, that same one?
The report, the engineer's report is for plans that came in this month. This plan had been in a couple months and went through the planning commission. The plans that you see in my report just came in and have not gone through the planning commission yet at this time.
Oh, okay, so, I'm sorry I didn't hear you that well, but I don't see the document that was sent about this one.
Let's speak, if you probably couldn't hear him real well. This was done a couple months ago, would have been on his report a couple months ago. This has already been through the planning commission.
Okay.
The planning commission did approve it, in case you didn't hear that part.
Okay, I did not. And so they didn't have any issues with the waiver, and Bill, you had no issues with the submission of the plan in the final approval, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve this subdivision
Condition upon the
conditioned upon the engineer's questions.
memo from July 24th.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion on this? All in favor? Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you very much.
build your house.
Thank you.
Uh,
Mr. Chairman, I made a motion, we pay the bill.
okay,
I'll second it.
all right. All in favor of paying the bills?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jane, pay the bills. Okay, at this time, we're going to go back for an executive session. We'll return. We have some legal issues we have to discuss back there. So we'll return when we're done with the executive session to finish the meeting.
Okay, can you just call me when we start?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, we're back from executive session. In executive session, we discussed some personnel issues and some legal issues, and that's really all we did back there this evening. So, that being said, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.